Good morning, and well, or afternoon, whatever time it is where you are, or whenever you're watching this. Welcome to Shattered Ministries. My name is Matthew Shaw, and I'm so grateful to be here with you, and I'm so grateful that you are here. It's another day, it's another chance, another opportunity to grow together, to walk through this journey. Just living life and going through all of the challenging things that we go through, and we all face different challenges, different seasons that we're in, and I just want you to know that you're not alone, and you're not doing this all by yourself, that there is a whole group of people that are out there doing it with you and want to do it with you and want to walk with you. And as we build this community out to encourage each other, I just want to invite you. There's a link below. The Facebook page that we have it's a solid community of a few hundred people that are going through the same journey that we're all going through, and dealing with life, and learning and growing and walking together. And so I'm so grateful to be with you all this morning. And I was praying about what I was going to share to encourage you today, and just had the most amazing morning. Met with a friend of mine that I care a lot about, and probably my best friend, and we're very close. And my sister invited me to start reading this book with her, and as I was starting to read it, I thought, this sense in my spirit, if you would, that I should share it with my best friend. And so now we're reading it together. And it was just such a tremendous morning. And as I was thinking about what I could do that might encourage you, the thought was to share this book that we're reading. And because it's just, as we go through life, one of the things that I have realized just for me, and this may be true for you, is that we have a tendency to pick up weights, pick up baggage, and if you pick up enough of it, it really can slow you down. And sometimes it can strangle you, it can suffocate you, it just makes life extremely difficult. And so one of the key things that I have been learning over the last few years, especially since the wreck and kind of getting a complete reset on my life, was that the more that I can release and let go of, the better off I am, the more unencumbered I am. And so the name of this book is called Forgiveness, and I'm going to have a link to it under the video as well. But it's just a really neat. I like books that are really conversational. I'm a conversational kind of person because I don't need somebody preaching at me. I don't need somebody telling me, oh, well, this is what you have to do, and this is what you got to do, and this is the way you got to do it, as much as somebody that feels like they're walking along beside me, and, this is what I've done, this is what I have walked through, and this is the benefit that I have seen. And to me, that's a much more realistic way to live life. There's an old adage that I have said before, and I've heard it said, but it's so true. And it's that, not unforgiveness is like drinking poison, hoping the other person dies. And the thing is that is absolutely true. And one of the things that we were talking through this morning with my friend is that there was a point in my life where I was so weighted down with bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness that I had drank so much poison that it was pouring out of me into every other area of my life. And I can tell you from absolute personal experience, that is the worst, because you don't realize why everything in your life is becoming this toxic mess, because you don't realize that it's coming out of you. And it's incredible. And it was revelatory to realize this morning that that's the path that I had been on before I got rescued. And so again, the book is called Forgiveness, and it's by a guy named Rodney Hogue, and I'll have a link in the bottom of the video. And it's not expensive. It's like, $11-12, but it is such a transformational process to go through, and it's so freeing, and it is so fun to see more light, brighter light at the, not at the end of the tunnel, but in your everyday. Because, this isn't about an arrival, because I'm by no means, I don't have a varsity jacket for life. I have a lot of scars. I have a lot of cool scars. But I have a lot of reminders of what I've been through. And, it's one of the reasons that we're on this journey together, and that I just want to encourage you and lift you up and let you know that there's absolutely hope, and there's absolutely, a place that is peaceful and can be joyful. And I know that if you're in the middle of that season that you just feel overwhelmed and swamped and drowning, that sounds like complete BS. But I've been there. If you go to the Facebook page and, become part of the community, you can look through and see photos I've posted of my wreck, photos that I posted of, the things that I've been through in different places that I've been through. And, if you've watched any other videos in the series, you know that I died in a car wreck in 2018, July. And I had a traumatic hemorrhagic event and bled to death and broke 63 bones, including my C3 in my neck. And, everybody in my life went away except for my immediate family. And, maybe one or two other people that were there. But I mean, it's so hard for people to know what to do with you when you're in a situation like that. But the beautiful thing about it was that it was an opportunity for my life to start over. And, that may not sound like fun at 47 years old, but the thing is that I tell people all the time, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but I wouldn't trade the experience and what has grown out of it for anything, because it's really been beautiful and it's been freeing. It's been completely different, and my life and me, I'm completely different. And, I talk with people frequently about how I used to be. And I was even talking about it this morning with my friend, and I said, I used to be the angriest, most frustrated person. And it's really fun to be living a completely different life now, to where I tell people that when I'm sharing my testimony, my story, and they look at me and they're like, I don't believe you. And I love that, because that's the transformation that's available to all of us. And I know you may not think, I don't want to be somebody different, but it's not about being disingenuine. It's not about being, you're messed up and you just got to get better. That's not what it's about. It's about the journey of growing in this life. We all go through battles. We all go through trials. We go through challenges, but they're for our benefit. They're for our growth, for our development. Because the thing is when you can walk out of those experiences and share them with other people that are now going through them, it's a really beautiful thing. Because I promise you, if I had met someone back then that they sounded genuine and they resonated with me where I was, and all of the darkness and all of the doubt and disbelief and just personal chaos that no one around me realized I was going through, because I was hiding it, because that's what you do. I know some people get really sideways and explosive and those kind of things, but for me personally, I hid a lot of it. It would come out when I would drink too much, which I used to do a lot, frequently, a lot. It would come out, in these moments of explosiveness. But for the most part, looking outside in, people were just like, oh man, what a good life that guy's got going, when it was just pretend. And so I just want to encourage you that, there's hope. You're not alone. And I'm so, so grateful that you're here, because the world is better with you in it. So thanks for joining me today. I know there's not a lot of, deep insight or whatever going on, but I just wanted to encourage you. You're not alone. I'm loving going through this book, because really going through forgiveness, and and what's funny is that there are people that I've forgiven, and I know that I've forgiven, and then I'll wake up, 3:00 in the morning, and they will come to they'll be on my heart, and it's like, what? I forgave them, and the Lord says, I know, but forgiveness and wounding, it's like sometimes there's residue, and there's more and more levels of really setting someone free. And that's really one of the keys to forgiveness that I'm learning as I'm going through this book, is that it is absolutely releasing the debt for the offense that somebody has made against you. And the thing is the joy in doing that, the freedom to be able to breathe out from under the weight of carrying that anger, carrying that resentment, carrying that wound. It sucks to do that. It's, I want to think I'm smarter than that. But the thing is sometimes you just don't know that you're still carrying around baggage that you didn't realize that you had. So I love you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so grateful that you're part of this journey with me. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.